Hi everybody, welcome to Beginner Vinyasa. I'm Teresa. So for this class you won't need any props, but as always if you have props it might be useful just to keep them close by because you never know when they could be helpful for you and your practice specifically, but you don't need any for this whole class. We're actually going to start off laying down on our backs today. So make your way into a comfortable position laying down. So that might include having a pillow under the knees, but otherwise just letting yourself take up space on your mat. Letting yourself really start to settle in and arrive. Maybe acknowledge if you're sharing your space with any other people or creatures. And if there's a lot of sounds happening around you or other types of distractions, begin to play with the idea that they contribute to your practice instead of taking away from it. Maybe you can start to close the eyes if they aren't already closed. We're going to take 3 really deep sighing breaths, just laying like this. So breathing in through the nose. As you exhale, sigh out the mouth. We're going to do 2 more. Breathe in. Exhale, let it go. Last one. Biggest inhale you can do. And exhale, biggest letting go breath. And then seal the lips. Just breathe in and out through the nose. Notice the parts of you that move as you inhale and exhale. And let that awareness travel more and more inward. Maybe first just noticing the rest of the body. How it feels, how it's supported, how it's dressed. And then moving even more inward, maybe you start to notice where your thoughts are today. So once you start to acknowledge all of these inside and outside feelings and observations, try to detach a little bit. So you don't have to label them or create stories behind why they are the way that they are. Instead, maybe focus on the breath. Focus on something happening right now. Give yourself permission to be nowhere else. And lastly, if you'd like to dedicate this class to anyone or anything, a project, a person, a pet, yourself, take the next couple breaths to settle in on that thing. And whenever you've found it, just bringing both hands, palms face down over your heart. Today we'll seal in all these dedications with one more really big sighing breath. So breathe it in through the nose. And exhale with the mouth, letting it all go out into the universe. And then slowly you can start to draw one knee at a time in towards your chest. And you can keep the eyes closed or start to blink them open as you make circles with the knees, massaging the lower back. Maybe circling the other way. And then rooting down through the soles of the feet. Knees are about hips width distance apart. We're gonna breathe through some bridge breaths or wave breaths. So depending on who's teaching, they call it other things. But starting with your hands, palms face down at your sides. As you inhale, you lift your hips and your hands at the same time, synced with your breath. So at the very top of your inhale, you can't inhale anymore. You also can't lift your hips any higher, and your backs of your hands will be on the floor behind you. And as you exhale, you'll do the same thing with the breath, the hips lower and the hands drop back, palms face down by your sides. So use your breath as you inhale all the way up, you can't take any more air, and exhale all the way down, letting it go. We're gonna do this 2 more times, and your breath can be faster or slower than mine, so just paying attention to how your breath is naturally. Good, so the next time you inhale and the hips lift, the palms are up, your hands are up above the head, we're gonna stay here for a few breaths. So press into the soles of the feet, lift the hips a little bit higher, keep those shoulders grounded, there's no strain in the neck or in the head. Maybe you press into the backs of the hands, pressing into the arms, creating a little more lift in the hips. Keeping the breath nice and even. See if you can just notice and just feel whatever's coming up. Good, we'll take one more inhale. And exhale, slowly bring the hips down as you bring the palms back towards the floor by your sides. Good. And then once you're here, just windshield wiper the knees a little bit side to side. And then as you bring your knees in towards your chest, start to rock forward and back just to come up to sit. It might feel good to sort of massage the whole spine. If you would like to add a few more rocks, you can. But we're all gonna meet seated in a cross-legged posture. From here, arms will reach up overhead. And then as you exhale, we'll lean over to the left. So the right arm is nice and long, rooting down through that right hip. Inhaling back up through center. And exhale, leaning over to the right. The left arm is long. We're gonna tick-tock one more time. So inhale up through center. And exhale, leaning to the left. Inhale up. And exhale right. Inhale up through center. This time we're gonna twist over to the left. So that left hand becomes a second spine, right hand comes outside the knee. Inhale, lift and lengthen, and exhale, twist deeper. One more breath, inhale, lift. Exhale, see if you can twist a little bit more. Good, as you inhale, you'll come back to center, the arms will reach up overhead. And exhale, just twisting to the other side. The right arm becomes that second spine. As you lift and lengthen on the inhale, exhale, deepen that twist, gazes over the right shoulder. One more breath. Good, as you inhale, come back to center. You don't need to bring the arms up this time. We're gonna make our way into a tabletop position. So just rolling over the knees, however it feels okay with your body. And you'll find this tabletop position, fingers really wide, moving through cat and cow. So as you inhale, lifting the gaze, let the belly drop as you broaden through the collarbone. And as you exhale, untuck the toes, press the mat away, cat pose. Inhale to cow. And exhale to cat. Good, one more round, inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. Good, this time we'll inhale to cow, tuck the toes to prepare, and then as you exhale, we'll find downward facing dog. So you might walk your hands out a little bit farther, starting to lift the hips, moving towards this inverted V. Whatever movements feel good, Go ahead and explore them, maybe pedaling out the feet or bending the knees. Keeping the spine nice and long, fingers wide. So use those fingers, especially if you tend to feel this a lot in the wrists. Using your fingers can help strengthen all the muscles in and around the wrist, the tendons, and it'll reduce that pain, it'll build the strength. So just take one more breath. Good, from here, we're gonna flow through a vinyasa, but this whole class we're gonna be doing a slightly modified vinyasa. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like this round, and we'll continue like that for the whole rest of the class. So as you inhale, coming forward to plank. Exhale, lowering knees, chest, and chin. Chest comes between the thumbs. Inhale, slide through cobra pose. So notice my palms are back behind my shoulders. Hips are grounded. And then we're going to exhale to cat pose. So pressing through the knees, pressing, arching the back up to the sky, chin to the chest. Inhale to cow, let the belly drop and tuck the toes. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Let's do that one more time just to make sure that we're clear. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, sliding forward, cobra. Notice my hands are back behind my shoulders. And then exhale, pressing up, cat pose. Pressing the mat away, shoulder blades nice and wide. Inhale, cow pose. Drawing that heart forward to the top of the mat. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good job. This time as you inhale, look between the hands and tippy-toe your way all the way to the front of the mat. We'll find ragdoll at the top. Feet are hips width distance apart. You can bend generously through the knees, grab opposite elbows, and just let the head and elbows hang heavy. If it feels good to sort of rock side to side or shake no and nod yes, just to release those muscles a little bit more, you can feel free to do that. Noticing that this is opening the shoulders and neck as opposed to the hamstrings in your legs. Good. And then finding stillness, release the grip of the arms if you have it. And on your next inhale, roll up to stand. Let it be the longest inhale of your whole day so far. So nice and slow, naturally stacking the vertebrae, one at a time. Head and neck come up last. Good. Then once you're here, find Tadasana. We'll zip those toes together, mountain pose, maybe a little bit of space between the heels. If it doesn't feel comfortable to have the big toes touching, you can also have a little bit of space between the feet. It depends on our hip bones. Here, hip. So now we're going to move through a few rounds of sun salutation A, but with that modified vinyasa. So as you inhale, let the arms sweep up to the sky, reaching through both sides of the ribs, really, really long through the top of the head. And exhale, forward fold. You can bend through the knees. Inhale, halfway lift, palms find the shins as you roll those shoulders away from the ears. And exhale, step back to plank. We'll take one extra inhale in plank just this round. And then exhale, lower knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, slide through, cobra pose. Keep those hips grounded. And exhale, cat pose. So pressing through the knees, press that mat away, chin to the chest. Inhale, cow, tuck the toes, drop the belly, lift the gaze. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good, one breath in down dog. Inhale, look between the hands. Exhale, step 1 foot at a time all the way to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, arm sweep up to the sky. Maybe this time you lift the gaze to the thumbs, or you can add a little back bend. And exhale, we'll dive straight back down for the second round. Inhale, halfway lift. Nice long exhale as you step back to plank and lower knees, chest, and chin. Same exhale. Inhale, slide through, cobra pose, hips are grounded. And exhale, cat pose. pressing that mat away. Inhale, cow. And exhale, down dog. This time right away, looking between the hands. Exhale, step 1 foot at a time all the way to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms sweep up to the sky. Maybe you add that back bend. And exhale, hands come to heart center. Awesome. From here, inhale, the arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift to prepare. And exhale, step only the left foot back. So low lunge, keeping that back knee lifted. So we're actively pressing with our left heel, engaging through this left thigh so that our kneecap lifts. So that's how active this back leg is, and it will stay. You can be up on fingertips, you can rock a little side to side or forward and back, sort of opening up the hips as we stay for one more breath. And then you'll root down with this left hand as you open the right to the sky for a twist. Good, still active in that left leg. Reaching with the right fingers, take one more deep breath in. And exhale that right hand back down, framing the right foot. Drop the back knee, untuck the back toe, and draw those hips forward. So my hips are in front of this left knee, not on top of the left knee. Drawing forward towards the top of the mat. From here, finding your crescent lunge. So it can be coming up onto the knee. Can be arms reaching up overhead. Or it can be starting to lift the gaze and work towards a back bend here. Good, so whichever you choose, take another breath. Keep drawing those hips forward. Rooted down through that right heel. Good. And then no matter where your hands are, up above or on the knee, starting to take your left hand and slide it down this left leg for a sort of peaceful variation. So the right arm might be reaching up to the sky, or it'll be staying on the knee, and just starting to bring the gaze back over this left shoulder. Good. As you inhale, we'll all come back to center. Exhale, both hands come down inside the right foot. So walk that right foot a little bit more to the right side of the mat. We're making our way into a lizard pose. So you can tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, rock forward, rock back. And then replace that left knee back down and find your lizard. So your lizard pose can keep the hands on the ground, palms on the ground in lizard. Knees, right knee is close to the right shoulder. If you want to grab a blanket for this back knee, I'm realizing now that might feel good. If you're ready to try going deeper into your lizard pose, you can bring the left forearm down first and then the right. Keeping this right heel grounded, trying to keep the right knee as close to the right shoulder as you can. We're going to be here for 3 more breaths. Maybe try to close your eyes, finding a little bit of stillness. Last breath. Good. From here, we're going to find our way into a twisted lizard. So you can do this on forearms or on your palms. I'm on my palms right now, so that's how I'm going to demonstrate it first. So you're going to turn these right toes slightly to the right. And then you can take your right hand inside the right knee and just gently press that right knee away as you shift the gaze over your right shoulder. And if you're on your forearms, I'll demonstrate. It looks almost exactly the same. You're just down on your left forearm. Good. So we'll stay here for another 3 breaths. If you would like to intensify this pose, you can bend this left leg and reach for the left foot, adding a quad stretch here. Keeping the gaze over the right shoulder, twisted lizard. Last breath, nice and slow. Good, as you inhale, if you have that grip of the foot, release the foot nice and gently. And then we'll inhale, all come back to center, make your way back into an active lizard. So both palms are face down, tuck the back toe, lift the back knee. Good. From this active lizard, we're gonna turn to the left into a wide-legged forward fold. So pivoting on the feet, walking the hands towards the center of the mat. And find this wide-legged forward fold. Work all 10 toes towards this left edge of the mat. And it might feel like you're slightly pigeon-toed, but if the outer edge, the pinky edge of your foot is directly parallel with your top and bottom of the mat, it'll be easier on the knees. So from here, we're just gonna find a nice wide-legged forward fold. Your hands can be reaching down for the floor or for blocks. You can also choose to reach for the ankles instead. So starting to really relax the head and neck. Imagine lengthening through the heart space and then folding a little bit deeper. 2 more breaths. Last one. Good. If you have that grip of the ankles, start to walk your hands back beneath your head. And then we're going to walk all the way to the back of the mat. So we're going to pivot more on the feet, all the way to the left side. Both hands will frame that left foot in this low lunge, facing the back of the mat. So again, you can choose to rock a little bit forward or side to side. Active through this right leg, lift it through the kneecap, pressing through the heel. Root down with your right hand and inhale the left up to the sky for that twist. Good, really reaching with the left fingers, really kicking with the right heel. Take one more inhale. Exhale, both hands frame that left foot. Drop the back knee, untuck the back toe, and make your way into that crescent lunge. This is also a good time if you did take me up on that blanket offer beneath the knee, you might want to shift that blanket to your right knee. So feeling out your left side crescent lunge, whether you want to be on the knee this time, arms lifted, or working towards the back bend, whatever feels good, like a good stretch, a good challenge, but no pain. Make your way there. We'll be here for another 2 breaths. Still drawing the hips forward, staying rooted through this left heel. Good. And then from here, no matter where you are, arms lifted or arms on the knee, this right hand will slide down that right leg and the gaze will shift back towards your right toes. So arm up or arm on the knee. Good. Keep that bend in the left knee. As you inhale, come back to center. Exhale, both hands come inside the left foot as you walk the left foot to the left side of the mat, and we'll find lizard on the left side. So tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, maybe rock a little bit forward and back, side to side, just so that you have the space to settle in to your left side lizard. And I always joke that your left and right side lizards are frequently different species. So just stay conscious and aware and feel exactly how you're showing up without labeling or creating that story behind it. So if you want to try going down onto the forearms now, you can bring the right one down first and then the left. Trying to keep this left knee close to the left shoulder and definitely keeping this left heel down on the mat. Good, we'll spend 3 more breaths in stillness, in silence, and just observe what comes up for you. And then making your way into that twisted lizard, either up on the palms or on the forearms, shifting the left toes a little bit more to the left side of the mat. Left hand comes inside the left knee. And as you gently press that knee away from you, your gaze shifts over your left shoulder towards your right toes. And if you choose to intensify the pose, again, you can reach your left hand back for your right toes, adding the quad stretch to it. But of course, you don't need to take this bind, twisted lizard. You can keep that right leg straight. Finding a nice open twist. If you did take the bind, the grip of the foot, you can start to release it gently down. We'll inhale back to center. We'll all meet in regular lizard. So those left toes face forward. We're up on the palms. Tuck the back toe, lift the back knee. From lizard pose, we're gonna walk to the right this time. So back towards the front of the mat, but we're gonna stop halfway through. So walk the hands to the middle, pivoting on the feet. This time, walk your feet in closer together to find Malasana, yogi squat. So elbows are inside the knees, pressing the knees apart manually with your elbows, working towards bringing this prayer at heart center. Notice that my heels are grounded. This is part of what makes this posture so difficult, is keeping the heels grounded. So for many of us, our Malasana will be wider and taller, but eventually you walk the feet in a little bit closer, the seat drops down towards the floor, and the crown reaches up, so we're nice and tall. It also might help to imagine pressing apart with your elbows and drawing the heart forward and up. So we're growing tall through the spine. Good, take 2 more breaths. So a very traditional yogi will advise that everyone should do Malasana for 30 minutes a day. We're just gonna stay for 1 more breath. And then we're going to turn to the right towards the top of the mat, cartwheel our hands down, and make our way through a vinyasa. 15 minutes. So stepping back to plank, deep breath in. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. We're doing that modified vinyasa. Elbows stay close to the body. Inhale, cobra pose, root down through the hips, pressing through the palms. And then exhale, cat pose, pressing away, spreading the shoulder blades wide. Inhale, cow. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good job. From downward facing dog, we're going to inhale the right leg to the sky, 3-legged dog. Stack the hips, bend the knee, flex through the foot. Do what feels good here, make some circles. We're going to make our way into pigeon pose. All hip openers today. So for pigeon pose, you're drawing that right knee towards the right wrist and the ankle towards the left wrist. Walk that back leg out. Untuck that back toe once you feel grounded. Maybe take a peek back and make sure that it's directly behind you. This back leg tends to splay out a little bit to the side, so just make sure that you're here. And then imagine drawing the left hip in line with the right. So left hip forward, right hip back. If this does not feel comfortable for your right knee for any reason, you can flip this over and do reclined pigeon. I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. So from here, Bring the hands back by your hips. Inhale, lift through the heart. And exhale, keep this length through the spine as you fold forward over your right leg for sleeping pigeon. You can relax your head on something. So it might be the mat, it might be your hands, it might be stacked fists if you're a little far from the floor, or you could use a block if you have one. And that's where we're gonna breathe for another 5 or 6 breaths. Those of you who are taking pigeon on your back, you'll bring the soles of the feet onto the floor, cross that right leg over the left, flex through that right foot, and then you'll reach between the legs, flexing through the left foot as well. Good. So another 2. And slowly, we'll all start to make our way into a 3-legged dog. So coming up onto the palms if you're in sleeping pigeon. Tucking the back toes, lift that back knee, really root down through that back foot so that you can kick the right leg up to the sky. 3-legged dog again. Whatever movements feel good. So maybe making circles, maybe kicking yourself in the butt or rolling out the ankle. And then we'll all come to downward facing dog. From here, we'll do 1 vinyasa between sides. Inhaling forward to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra pose, sliding forward, hands behind the shoulders. Exhale, cat pose, pressing through the knees, pressing through the palms. Inhale, cow, tucking the toes. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good, left side, inhale the left leg up to the sky. Stack the hips, bend the knee, flex through the foot, make circles. You know what's coming on this side. So just preparing the body. And then on your exhale, coming into pigeon on the left side, left knee comes towards the left wrist, left ankle towards the right. Walk that back leg back, make sure you can see it. If you found pigeon on your back the first time, you can make your way into it on this side as well. From here, inhale, lengthen through the heart. And exhale, keep that length as you fold over the left leg. So, letting the head relax on whatever you're relaxing it on, a block, your hands, or the floor. Making sure that your right hip is in line with your left hip. You're not falling over to the left side, just sitting on your left leg here. And a lot of the times when yoga teachers cue this pose, like I did, they say left knee towards the left wrist, left ankle towards the right wrist, as if your shin could become a straight line towards the top of your mat. But of course, for most of us, that's not what this posture looks like in the body. Usually your heel will be closer to your hip. And in fact, you can bring that heel in even closer if it feels good, so that you're sort of just having this deep bend in the left knee. So for future reference, that might be helpful. So taking one last breath wherever you're at. And then start to make your way into that 3-legged dog. So if you're in sleeping pigeon, coming up onto the palms, tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, find 3-legged dog. Those of you who are in reclined pigeon on your back, also meeting us in 3-legged dog. Good, and then finding downward facing dog. At this point, you have the option to just breathe here for a little while. Eventually, downward facing dog becomes a resting posture. Or you can flow with me through one more of this modified vinyasa. So as you inhale, coming forward to plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra pose, hips grounded. Exhale, cat pose, pressing away. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good. From downward facing dog, inhale, roll forward to plank pose. Exhale, lower as slow as you can. So working on building that strength for chaturanga, half push-up. So keep the elbows close to the body as you lower nice and slow all the way to the floor. Good. Once we're here, we're gonna make our way through a few different versions of locust pose, but we're not gonna be holding them. We're gonna be taking an inhale in our back bend, exhale back down to the ground. So we're gonna start by bringing our hands back, fingers towards the toes, palms face down. And we're gonna do 3 of each version of locust pose. So starting with this first one, bring your chin or forehead to the mat to prepare. And as you inhale, lifting everything up off the floor, fingers are reaching towards the heels, the legs are lifting, and exhale back down. So nice long breaths. Inhale, lift everything up. And exhale back down. Last one like this, inhale up. Exhale back down. Reach those hands forward. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale down. Inhale up, reach with those fingers, reach with those toes. Exhale down. Last one like this, inhale, reaching like you're being pulled in opposite directions. And exhale, coming down. Now the hands come behind your head like you're relaxing on the beach. Inhale up. And exhale down. 2 more, inhale. And exhale. Last one, inhale. And exhale, release. Bring your hands by your side. Relax on one side of the face. Let the elbows be nice and wide. Maybe rock the hips a little bit side to side. Releasing the back. Good, and then from here, just turning over onto your back. From your back, bringing your right knee in towards your chest, flex through both feet, really root down through that left leg, and draw the right knee towards your armpit. So avoid the ribs, pull that knee nice and close, actively using your muscles, keeping the shoulders grounded. Good, from here, you have 2 options. You're either going to be finding yogi toe lock, so your peace fingers wrapping around the big toe, right hand comes inside that right knee, and you complete the grip with your thumb around the big toe, or you're going to be grabbing behind the knee. So whichever, you can stay grounded through the shoulders, and then from here, gently starting to straighten that right leg up to the sky. So it never has to become straight, but we're working on straightening that leg while keeping our right shoulder grounded. So that might mean that you grab behind the knee instead. So starting to open up the hamstring. If it helps, you can bring your left hand to your left hip and imagine pressing down, staying rooted through that whole left side. Taking one more breath here, kicking up with that right heel up towards the sky, working towards straightening the legs someday. Good, last inhale. And then as you exhale, we're gonna open up to the right. So letting that right leg open to the right, keeping the left side grounded. Noticing if this takes so much muscle that you are losing your breath doing it, you can always shift to bring your right elbow on the floor and create a kind of kickstand. So your leg would be between your index finger and thumb of your right hand. And it can be all the way up by the upper leg, or you can be down by the calf. Good. So taking another breath here, really kicking through that right heel, rooting down through that left side. As you inhale, come back up through center. Release the leg, bend through the right knee. And we're gonna find a twist. So let your right arm open to the right, Left hand comes to the knee and draw that knee across the body for the twist. Gaze can stay neutral up towards the ceiling, or you can shift your gaze towards your right hand. Working towards keeping the shoulders basically grounded. It's okay if your right shoulder lifts a little bit here, but not so much that you're totally straining your neck. Good. On your next inhale, come up through center. In between sides, we're going to take a happy baby. So reaching between the knees for the outsides of the feet. Just taking 2 breaths here. Maybe if you want to add a little bit of movement, rocking side to side. And then we'll switch sides. So finding stillness, the left knee comes into your chest, the right leg extends straight, flexing through both feet. Pull that left knee towards the armpit, avoiding the ribs. Then either finding yogi toe lock with your left peace fingers wrapping around the left big toe inside the left knee and extending that left leg straight, or grabbing behind the left leg, keeping the shoulders grounded, kicking through both heels. Option to use your right hand on your right hip just to feel a little extra grounding. Good, 1 more breath here. Working towards straightening this left leg, even if it never becomes straight. Last inhale, and exhale, opening the left leg to the left, either keeping that yogi toe lock or creating that kickstand using this space in between thumb and index finger to grab the leg. Stay rooted down through the right side. Stay long from crown of the head to the right heel. And still kicking through the left heel. 1 more breath. And on the next inhale, that left leg will come up through center and you'll bend through the knee. This time you can take any last movements that you feel. Oh wait, we're taking the twist first, I'm sorry. Bending through that left knee, we're gonna let the left arm open to the side. The right hand will come to the left knee as you draw that leg across the body. It would have felt a little uneven if we forgot this twist. The gaze can be neutral or looking towards your left fingers. And then as you make your way back through center, now you can move through any last movements that you need before Shavasana. Those of you who have to leave at exactly 1:45, I will tell you it is 1:45. So if you need to take your Shavasana later in the day, or maybe just take a few breaths before you re-enter the world, you can do so now. For the rest of us, we're going to make our way into that Shavasana. So letting yourself take up a lot of space. Maybe using a blanket or a pillow under the knees. Let the toes point out to the side. Let the arms be wider than the mat. And starting to relax the whole body. Relaxing the eyes, the nostrils. Unclench the teeth. And we'll take a really big letting go breath, breathing in through the nose. And exhale, letting every last bit of stress out. Enjoy your rest. I'll bring you back in just a few minutes. And slowly starting to just deepen the breath. Don't move a muscle yet. Don't exit the posture. In any yoga class that you ever go to, all of the pretzel-y postures, all of the effort and the stretching is leading to this moment. So this is the peak posture of any yoga class. Remaining aware in complete stillness, being at peace inside yourself. Slowly you can start to wiggle the fingers and wiggle the toes. Roll out the wrists and the ankles. Let those movements just get bigger all by themselves. Maybe you find a really big stretch. And then starting to bring your knees into your chest, you can roll over to the right, finding Garbhasana, fetal pose. And in this pose, just taking a minute to return to your intention or your dedication. Maybe spending a little bit of time appreciating this amazing body, or even just listening and letting your body thank you. And then keeping your eyes closed, you'll come up to sit. Whenever you are sitting, your hands can either come to heart center or just rest on your knees. I'd like to thank you so much for joining me in this yoga practice. It has been, and it always is, such an honor guiding you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, knowing that you are as much a part of the universe as the trees and the stars. And though there's no way we can know for sure, there's also no doubt that the universe is unfolding exactly the way that it should. Namaste.